welcome. We have with us Kerry Cassidy from the project Camelot. And can you tell us your comments or your ideas about the latest events related to Max Spiers and the situation in Poland, in the light of your information or your understanding of the situation?
Okay, first of all, I'll say that I have been speaking to Miles Johnston and in touch with the filmmaker who filmed the last interview with Max Spiers. And there's a lot of conflicting knowledge, conflicting information out there. And Max died suddenly, so I don't know if I need to set the scene of explaining about that, but he died and he was around 40, and there was evidence on the film, on the last interview. He is talking about not being able to speak. He is falling asleep on camera. His throat is becoming very constricted, and he's having trouble talking. And he goes and jumps on a trampoline partway through the interview, and then he tries to wake himself up. And he says on camera that he's being under attack. And he mentions someone's name, a black magician, repeatedly, and refers to this person. So that's the circumstances. We understand that he was found or died and was found in this woman's house, a villa belonging to a woman named Monica, who is a Polish journalist and has, I'm told, 4 magazines. And she's going to write an article about what happened, what really happened, I understand. And there's a mystery surrounding his death. We don't know why he died. We don't know if he was poisoned. We don't know if he was killed by a scalar weapon or what might be what we know of as psychic targeting and things of this nature, psychic influencing. You can kill somebody long distance in these ways. Or we don't know if perhaps he'd been taking some kind of medication that made his body deteriorate and caused some kind of hemorrhaging. You see, it's a mystery. And what is even more mysterious, of course, is that first they called an ambulance and a doctor, and the doctor, I guess, came to the villa with 2 attendants, and they tried to revive him after he lost consciousness, and they were unsuccessful, and the woman, Monica, was quite upset, and from what I understand, she wanted the doctor to keep trying, but the doctor pronounced him dead, I suppose, and then they left, the audience, the ambulance left, and they didn't take the body with them. They just left the body behind in the house, which is very irregular. And now we hear it's actually illegal. So, but this is how they acted. This is what they did. And the next thing also was police were called to the house to handle the situation and to calm the woman down, I guess, if I understand correctly. What happened was then she would not allow them to take the body either. And so the body was left in the house and the police went away. And this is very strange. And this would never happen in my country, in America. But so I don't understand exactly what was going on. I do know that it seems that the body was kept there overnight even. And we don't know if there was some black magic performed on this body or if there was, they tried to heal him in some psychic way, using some healers or something of this nature. It's all a question. So, but I was told some of these details, obviously, by Miles Johnston, who they called the night this happened, and also by the filmmaker who has done the last interview. His name is Alexander. So I can say that I did an interview with Max Spiers in 2013, along with Michael Prince. And Michael Prince, at that time, told me that he was in charge of all the super soldiers, the ones that were at that conference, that he was, in a sense, their commander. And certainly in the interview, Max Spiers didn't talk very much. Michael Prince does almost all the talking. Since then, it appears that Max Spiers had a change of heart and has come forward in a big way on the internet and spoken out about the injustices going on, talking about the symbolism of the Illuminati and the ruling class and the kinds of things that they are putting out there, the black magic, the Satanism behind all of it. And he was revealing a lot of important information. So there was a reason for him to be killed, one might think. And it seems in this last interview, if you listen to it, he was actually drilling down and talking about some even events coming up in Poland that may be involving child sacrifice and this sort of ritual that goes on. So this is the story. Project Camelot is a site for whistleblowers. I investigate conspiracies of all kinds. It doesn't matter what. It could be political, it could be financial, it could have to do with health. It can have to do with, of course, UFOs, ETs, government and secret government, mainly the secret military. And that means worldwide, the efforts to put the New World Order forward, and so on. So I have been doing this for over 10 years. I'm an investigative reporter, documentary filmmaker, and I've spoken all over the world at conferences, talking about my work, talking about the whistleblower testimony that I have. A lot of my whistleblowers are ex-military, even current military. Some of them are intelligence agents, like CIA and other agencies. Some consider themselves retired. Most of them have a crisis of conscience, even though they've signed a national security oath of some kind to maintain the secrecy. They come forward to tell the truth about what's really going on because they feel the people have a right to know. And I agree with that. So we have become quite well known. We have a huge following around the world. Over 44 million people have seen my interviews, as well as we have a very large YouTube channel. So that's an answer to your question. Did you want to ask me something else?
Yes, well, would you put that particular situation in some broader context? Do you see some change, some new tendency? Many people are talking about the awakening.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Camelot, the reason I do the work I do is to wake people up around the world, and I can say that they write to me every day, and we receive a tremendous amount of email, and they have for the past 10 years been telling me, they come up to me at conferences and shake my hand and thank us for our video interviews that have helped them to wake up. And we also write articles and have not only video testimony, but also written testimony for people and sources that do not want to come before the camera. They want to remain secret.
Yes.
So yes, there's a huge awakening going on the planet. It is also being facilitated by energies that are coming into the planet at this time that are stimulating awakening and in consciousness. And young people all over the world are very awake, many of them that I meet at conferences, and as well as older people that maybe lived their whole life believing one thing, and now they realize that they've been living a lie, and they changed their life. It's very important that people do this, and it's very inspiring as well.
That's so interesting. In the first part you said about all the information, which is extremely important. And then you mentioned that there is energy change. So there is a part of learning from information, which is available now, thanks to people like you. And this other element would be the energy. And in what ways do you know that the Earth is helped in this process?
Well, we have an interview with Paul Laviolette. He's a scientist and an astrophysicist, I believe, and he talked about what's called a super wave coming from the center of the galaxy. So it's possible that this has started. I know that our solar system is moving towards, I believe, the Sagittarius constellation, and this may be responsible for some of what's happening. Excuse me. And I can say that it's helping to facilitate what I do, so that I'm not just working alone, and others like me. There's many people now doing what I do. But it has become, you might say, a movement, right? A consciousness movement. And that's really what it's all about. So it's important to understand that it's not only the incoming energy, but it's like the energy that we are creating by connecting with others of like mind. We are creating a field of consciousness around the earth and between human beings all over. And we recognize each other, we see each other. It's like we're old friends when we first meet. And this happens all the time. And there's an understanding. It's a nonverbal, it's very psychic, very telepathic. So all of this is opening up for people if they're interested. And I think it's like a snowball that's going downhill, and it's gathering more and more and becoming larger and larger and larger. And
critical at some point, probably.
Yes, well, my understanding is that after 2012, we had reached a critical mass, as they call it, to overturn and to change this planet for the good. That regardless what happens in the future here on planet Earth, that this seeding of humanity will ascend. Not everyone, some people will choose to perhaps, reincarnate and go backwards if they need to relearn some lessons or whatever. There's no reason to have judgment over all of this. It's a pattern, it's a process that we go through. And it's taking us back to source, if you will. But it's a long journey, but we're all making it, and enlightenment is basically the name of the game. So I talk not only about conspiracies and all of that, and waking people up as to what's going on around them so that they can be more healthy, so that they can be aware if someone is trying to change their children's minds, mind control them using television and commercials and all kinds of nonsense and bad food and bad water, etc. We learn to change this and turn it all around. And we are able to, in a sense, recreate this world as a better place for us and for our children. And it's a long road. It's not going to happen overnight. But by the same token, I can say that if we do have any more false flags, any of these kinds of things, more and more people are starting to wake up and see that these things that we call false flags are actually staged events. And they're put on by the Illuminati, by the dark magicians. There are virtually very few terrorists. Most of the terrorists we call terrorists are actually being trained and financed by the New World Order. Because what their motto is order out of chaos. and they need to create chaos first, and then they will come in with their armies, and they think, like in the days of Hitler, you will welcome them and say, yes, come in, take control of our lives, take away all our freedoms. This is what happened during 9/11 and the Patriot situation. But this also works to wake people up also as a negative event, you see. And so at this time, they are working, you might say, against time, because there are so many people waking up that they don't know how to keep, the consciousness down any more than they already have. They try these events, they try keeping people down, they try interrupting interviews, and they try making all kinds of noise and all kinds of stuff. But it doesn't matter, because the truth has gotten out. I started 10 years ago, when very few people were doing what I do. And myself and my former partner, Bill Ryan, we went around the world interviewing whistleblowers, and mostly with above top secret clearances, all about the secret space program and the UFOs, etc. And we found that ex-military would tell the truth, and we found that there were all kinds of people that would tell the truth. And sorry, we're having an interruption here. It's quite strange. Anyway, but it's actually, since that time when I started, now it's a movement. Now everyone is on YouTube, exposing the false flags, filming whenever there is a so-called terrorist event, showing that there are actors being hired, that they do stupid things like leave their license in the floor of the car where everyone would find it. I mean, no, assassin or whatever who was worth his weight would ever do these kinds of things. But they have so many stupid mistakes, that it's too numerous to mention. And, Ole Damagard is very good at chronicling the exact steps they go through. They use the same hit teams over and over again. Gladio is a name for a hit team that they have been doing false flags around the world for, 40 years or something like that. Many things like Pearl Harbor was a false flag. I mean, we're really talking about the Reichstag fire brought, the start of Hitler's reign in Germany. So we've had these things that were put into place by the people in high offices of government and in the military, also in secret societies and the secret government, which is underlying all of it, and basically orchestrating events to make people believe that we have a certain kind of world, a certain kind of reality, when actually what they're seeing on television is lies. They're always being lied to. And I can say that young people, even when I meet them and talk to them, they're getting very smart. They see a television show, they see a movie, and there are seeds of truth in all of these things. And they don't just brush it aside and say, oh, that's just a movie. They understand that it does mimic reality, and that they're being told something. They're being told a truth about what really happened. So there's enough people out there, like yourself, both of you, and trying to get the truth out in every way. And it's working. It really is working. It's very inspiring. It's very exciting. And so I have to say that I'm not worried about the future. I know it sounds strange. I know a lot of people like to talk negatively about the future. I actually don't feel that way. And I'm a precog. I have dreams of the future. And I can tell you that the future that I see is not one of cataclysms. Now, there may be earth changes in certain part of the world. Just most of these things, cataclysms, are caused by man. They're not caused by gods. This even was a lie many, many years ago. Even the Anunnaki created cataclysms in order to scare the humans, in order to eliminate the humans. This was not a natural occurrence on the earth, you see. So this is what's important to understand, that everything you're being taught in school, everything you're being taught in churches and synagogues and all of these places, they're teaching you to bow down to authority, to do what you're told. You know, they're teaching you lies. They're feeding you, you know, terrible food, and they're purposely, you know, creating events such as, you know, radiation, leakages, and so on and so forth. We do not need any of these negative things to happen on the planet. They are man-made. It's important to understand. Men, women who are in collusion with various dark ET races are doing these kinds of things. They have a plan. They wish to take over the earth, to take it away from the humans. And many of our military have made very dark agreements with some of these races. So this is what we're really looking at, and that's what Project Camelot is delving into and continues to do. And I can say it's changing the world.
It definitely is. Awesome. Thank you very much for the time and for your involvement, and also for the long-term commitment to all the cause.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.